So almost on cue, it seems like several times a year, a streamer will come out and say that streaming is harder than a 9 to 5.
Yes, a real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired, but a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
And I've gotten to the point where I think that streamers who do this just have low engagement and they want people to kind of rage over what they say. So at the end of the day, it's just kind of rage bait. But I do think there are streamers who legitimately think their job is harder than a 9 to 5. And so in today's video, I kind of wanted to examine, what that's like, and obviously, give my take as someone who I've worked 9 to 5s pretty much my entire life. I've been working for roughly 10 years now. And I've also done some amateur streaming stuff. I'm obviously not on the level, as some of these streamers are, but I can sort of speak a little bit on both, a lot on the 9 to 5 part. And I'm just gonna sort of dive into this. So the origin of this video, I saw multiple people saying this, but I saw this tweet that says people have noticed that Twitch has now demonetized multiple people who have claimed streaming is harder than a 9 to 5. We have Lacey, Stable Ronaldo, and someone named Yusuf. And not even to hate, but I've only ever heard of Ronaldo as a streamer. I don't know who the other two are, but the comments are hilarious. I'll go down those just for like a quick sec. They said, "You gonna learn today?" And someone said, "Oh no, poor streamers, you get paid to do things we do on our spare time." And I want to move to this tweet, which is also related, where FaZe Ronaldo says, "Imagine going from making 5 figures a day to making 965. FaZe Ronaldo spoke out after getting demonetized on Twitch, claiming he won't stream for the rest of the year if it's not fixed. So I did some very simple calculations using ChatGPT. You could do them in your head, but I wanted to just do this to show you guys exactly what this looks like. So when you work a 9 to 5 in the United States, for most people, you're not even making 4 figures a day, right? But if you are lucky enough to make roughly $1,000 a day, of course you're not going to work every day. But that would work itself out to about $365,000 a year, or $260,000 a year if you're working 5 days a week, which is most people. In order to make 5 figures a day, so I went bare minimum, we're going $10,000 here. You would be making somewhere between $2.6 and $3.6 million, which, in the United States or anywhere around the world, if you're making on that lower end, so if you're making 4 figures a day, if you're making $360,000 or $260,000 a year, that's what very good lawyers make, very good doctors make, very good software engineers make. We're talking about people that go to school for, 4 years, 8 years, 10 years, whatever it is, and work highly specialized jobs with a lot of stress. And you are extremely blessed if you're making that much money. So I think to sit there and say, boo-hoo, I'm not making 5 figures a day is super out of touch. It is super, honestly, disrespectful to people who work hard jobs every single day. And I think clearly it shows, just a lack of empathy towards the people around you, a lack of understanding. And really that gets at the heart of this video, is that I think a lot of these streamers are out of touch with reality. They don't actually know what it's like to work these jobs. And so that's why I always find it so insulting when they say, oh, streaming is harder than a 9 to 5, because you've never actually worked a 9 to 5 before. And a lot of this chatter prompted Cenat, who is arguably the biggest streamer in the world right now, to go and work at McDonald's. And before I talk about it, I'm just going to show the video and then we will go through it. And when I say this for context, this is a clip of the video. This isn't the whole video.
How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to Mickey D's. What you want? Apple slices? Yo, this is fire, bro. Yeah.
There we go.
How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to McDonald's. What can I get for you? Yeah, what's going on? Welcome to McDonald's. Ooh, I'm gonna have to try that. I see at the window the total is $3.49. Thank you. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to Mickey D's. How can I take your order?
Why you leaning back every time you say something?
It's getting busy, bro. We're getting customers, bro.
Hey, man.
Yeah, what's up? Welcome to McDonald's. How can I take your order? Thank you so
very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You love my smell? Thank you very much. You do. Oh my God, she made my day. I see what you're talking about now.
You think this is harder than streaming?
Imagine being here all day.
All day. I ain't gonna lie. All day here. Rushing, lag, cars coming in, lane 1, lane 2.
So there's obviously a lot to point out in that video. And I don't want to be a hater on Kai. I know this is for content. And he's doing very well. And, you know, I have a great respect for people who are doing really well in life. I don't want to try and bring them down or bring negative energy towards them. But if we actually take the reality of what he's doing, he's making a joke out of working a 9 to 5. Anybody who's worked in fast food knows that when you are working in fast food, you have things like window times, you have metrics you have to meet, you have an exact response in how you greet a customer and what you're supposed to say throughout an interaction. And when you work at a lot of these restaurants, people who've never worked in fast food think you can just jump on a headset and say whatever you want. But if you try and do any of that, pretty much everything he did in that video would get you fired. Easily, in one day, would get you fired. Maybe a warning or something like that, but you'd be getting a talking to from the general manager and you would eventually be getting fired. So, you know, anytime people do these stunts where they go work at McDonald's and they try and say like, oh, I've done this now, it's never an actual representation of what it's like to actually work there. And if you notice there at the end, he says something like, man, if I had to do this every day, he was probably there for maybe a couple of hours at most, and he's not even doing the actual tough work. So again, for someone who's worked at a lot of these places, whenever you're working at some place that has a drive-through, being at the drive-through window is actually the easiest part. The hard part are the people who are working behind the scenes to make everything else happen, which I'm sure he didn't have to do. So, you know, ultimately for most of us who work these jobs, this isn't a tough debate. This isn't something that we have to critically think about. Streaming is a hobby, right? Streaming is something that people want to do. And I looked up earlier the metric about how many streamers there are. And just on Twitch alone, I think it said something like 7 million active streamers on Twitch. And that just goes to show that people obviously want to do this job. People want to be a streamer, and that's just on one platform. And the reason is because if you can make it as a streamer, if you can even get your income comparable to what you're making currently at whatever job you're doing, you would obviously choose streaming over your job. Because as a streamer, you get to make your own hours and you get to make your own content. You get to decide your brand and you get to wake up whenever you want to and you get to make your own schedule. And at a 9 to 5, you don't get to do any of that. Right? You have a set time you have to clock in and out. You have a set time you have to take your lunch. You have a lot of pressure on yourself. And as a streamer, you can always change things up. You can play different games. You can rebrand yourself. But at a 9 to 5, a lot of times you don't have the privilege to quit your job because you have bills that you have to pay. You have a family who's relying on you. You have friends who are relying on you, you know, whatever your situation is. And so every time this comes up, I know, again, for the most part, it's probably rage bait, but it just drives me insane as someone who has worked a lot of these jobs that constantly, you know, people kind of write off as like, oh, that's easy. All you do is blank, you know, all you do is fill up whatever or serve drinks or whatever it is. But these jobs are not easy. These jobs are very hard. And so, you know, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd love to hear what y'all's thoughts are on this. Every time this comes up, it just drives me crazy, and I'm sure it'll come up again and again. Oh, and one thing I wanted to show super quick is I wanted to show you guys the comments on the Kai video because I always love comments. And someone said, all right, now do it every day for a year. And then this person said, of course, Kai would be talking like that and having fun, saying whatever he wanted to the drive-through. I don't think he'd be so happy if he needed to follow rules and talk how they're supposed to talk. Feels like he's laughing at the workers who do this for a living. He's treating it like a game. And again, that's pretty much what I said. If you've done this, you know there's an exact way you have to dress. There's an exact way you have to act. There's an exact thing you have to say. There's an exact way you have to do everything. And so, you know, to just go in there and have fun and to goof off and whatever, again, I'm not trying to just be a straight hater on this, but I just feel like it's so out of touch and it's so apart from reality. You know, people that have these 9 to 5 jobs, whatever it is you're doing out there, I know it's hard. I know it's stressful. I'm with you. And trust me, I'm trying to become a streamer myself or a content creator. So if you want to subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. I'll be on the other side of it maybe one day. But yeah, I mean, this is crazy to say these kinds of things. And I don't know, But I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate it a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next video.